Protect your DNA. BioPQQ can promote formation of new mitochondria. Infowarsstore.com.
Welcome to the Infowars Nightly News. I'm your host, Jakari Jackson. It's January 7th, 2015, and here are our top stories.
Tonight, the Paris attack. Were the gunmen part of a military organization such as ISIS, or were they sent in by a government with a professionally trained military? What they are not telling you. Up next on the Infowars Nightly News.
Here in the States, we awoke to the news that there had been a terror attack in Paris centered around Charlie Hebdo, a satirical magazine. And before we go any further in depth, let's take a look at a brief history of Charlie Hebdo.
Charlie Hebdo is a bitingly satirical magazine that does cartoons that are incredibly anti-clerical, but across the board. So they've traditionally been anti-Catholic, but, in recent years, they've turned their attentions more to Islamists, and Charlie Hebdo's previous office were burned down in mysterious circumstances after it published, controversial cartoons of the Prophet Muhammad.
We now have 3 suspects named in the Paris terror attack. Saeed and Sharif Kouchi, both French and in their early 30s, and 18-year-old Hamid Murad, whose nationality wasn't immediately clear, were named by 2 officials, according to a police spokesman in Paris. Because the masked, black-clad gunmen attacked with militaristic precision and left the scene with shouts of Allahu Akbar, the killers were suspected to be well-trained Islamic extremists, but their motive and backgrounds are still being investigated. And let me be very clear, not all Muslims are terrorists. Don't misconstrue what I'm saying. It's these particular people who chose to participate in these particular actions. And if the idea of French Muslim extremists sound very skeptical to you or make you very skeptical to hear those words, consider this. Back in, I believe it was 2012, we had the reports about how ISIS militants were being trained in Jordan. So it just shows you how far these terror cells can grow and spread. And the guys are giving me an update. They're saying that it is now confirmed that one of the suspects has been shot dead. The article, you can see it updated there on your screen. It's saying that, yes, in fact, one of the suspects is dead and the other 2 are in custody. We'll have to wait and see as information becomes more available which suspect this was and which other 2 are still in custody. But now for a different aspect of this Paris shooting, we go now to Leanne McAdoo.
Before the blood even dried in today's Paris shooting, the politically correct police came out to say that those at the Charlie Hebdo magazine should have known better. A Financial Times column basically said that Hebdo was wearing too short of a skirt when they said, "This is not the slightest to condone the murderers who must be caught and punished," or to suggest that freedom of expression should not extend to satirical portrayals of religion. It is merely to say that some common sense would be useful. The AP, Guardian UK, and others also pointed out what Hebdo had done to provoke these acts. There were similar reactions when the Hebdo headquarters were bombed in 2011 after the magazine ran cartoons of the Prophet Muhammad. Time condemned the magazine, saying the antics openly beg for violent responses from extremists. So apparently this is what we do now, give in to fear rather than uphold our freedoms. We saw this recently when Sony pulled the interview after alleged threats by North Korea. So did those involved with the making of the interview deserve to be nuked for making fun of Kim Jong-un? And will magazines and newspapers repost these offensive cartoons as their patriotic duty, much like people were calling to watch the interview as a patriotic act? Christians didn't shoot up Hollywood for their recent portrayals of God, Noah, Moses, and others. And far from targeting Muslims in particular, Charlie Hebdo has ridiculed everyone from British people to the Pope. Yeah, those cartoons might be in bad taste, but truly free speech protects the rights of those with bad taste. If a satirical magazine is not poking fun, it's not doing its job. ISIS can post videos and pictures of beheadings on Twitter, yet we're supposed to be silent about their 7th century barbarism. Among the 10 journalists killed Wednesday was Charlie Hebdo editor Stéphane Charbonnier, who told Le Monde newspaper 2 years ago, "I'd rather die standing than live on my knees." Now is not the time to start policing our thoughts based on the whims of the perpetually offended. That is not free speech. Not only do we not negotiate with terrorists, our rights are never negotiable.
And we'll end tonight with some news here in the States. El Paso clinic shooting victim was a VA doctor, FBI confirms. This is the shooting that happened last night. The gunman is believed to have shot himself after killing the doctor, an official confirmed to the Post. The incident at the El Paso Veterans Affairs Clinic was reported around 3:10 p.m. local time. Major General Stephen Twitty, commanding general of Fort Bliss, said Tuesday night. So it is unfortunate when these events happen here in the States, but this isn't a reason for gun control, because you can talk about this, but you can also go to places like guns.com, where I believe it was reported today how somebody drove a car to a Boost Mobile store and was trying to rob the place and got shot by the clerk. So you do have negative gun stories, but you also have positive gun stories. And coming up after this break, we'll have more news talking about terrorism here and abroad. We'll have a special report from Rex Jones, Alex's son, talking about the history of terrorism, as well as many more reports. Stay tuned.
Every year we make resolutions to lose weight and get in shape. And the truth is, it's hard, even with diet and exercise, because of toxic food and our environment that is stressing our bodies more than ever before. Working with experts in nutrition and biochemistry, I found that super high-quality nutraceuticals, in addition to my diet and exercise, were the answers that synergistically worked. I could see the drastic changes every day with the amount of weight I've lost, my increased stamina, and more of a twinkle in my eye. That's why we are now so excited to launch the Infowars Life Resolution Pack, combining 3 essential formulations: oxygen-based cleanser Oxy Powder, the Secret 12 bioavailable vitamin B12, and your choice of super female or super male vitality. Now all available at a discounted price to you and your family to bring in the new year and make 2015 a true success. That's InfoWarsLife.com or 888-253-3139. 2015 is the year to do it, and it all starts at InfoWarsLife.com.